We have seen unit number 1, or we have studied unit number 1. So here I am going to, in this video, trying to give a summary about what we have learned in unit number 1. So unit number 1 started with the definition of marketing, and we have seen a very elaborate definition of marketing. It's a set of institutions creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings or products and services which the consumers requires, or clients, partners, or society requires at large. So it is actually what we try to tell is trying to identify and meeting the needs of the human and the society. We have also gone through the nature of marketing, characteristics of marketing in detail. It is more on to consumer centric. It is actually a managerial function which includes planning, trying to come out with a new idea, developing that idea into a product. So it is full of managerial functions, satisfying different group of people, understanding about the need of the consumers. So it can be put as a managerial function. And it's a dynamic process. Changes happens in consumers' product. We have to change more product. We have to modify. And it's all an economic function. It talks about the demand and supply of the product. It can be put as a science or an art in which creativity, experimenting, coming out with new product, and art of developing and creating an advertisement for promoting the product. And it is a continuous process. It happens in the organization. Product developed, new products, extension of the product. So it's like a continuous process. And it's a value driven, or creating of value and delivering of value to the consumers for the money which they are spending for the product. And the objective of the organization is to make profit, and the organization makes profit through creating of product and giving or selling the product to the consumers. What are the scope of marketing? Now, the scope of marketing, as we have told, primary elements of marketing and auxiliary elements of marketing, we classify into two broad ones. So in primary elements, we know about goods, services, events, experiences, person, place, property, organization. All these things are being marketed. When we have seen elaborately, we have seen all with examples. Auxiliary elements of marketing, we talk about consumer behavior. We talk about research, marketing research, trying to understand about the consumer and the market at large. Satisfaction of consumers and what makes consumers satisfied. And we also discussed about 4 P's of marketing in the content or in the syllabus, as well as when in the previous lectures. Talking about importance of marketing, we don't have to much talk about it because we know that it is very, very important in every organization. So trying to build up a reputation for the organization through the product and services rendered. It also, of course, generates revenue for the organization, and it makes organization dynamic. That means changing according to the needs and wants of the consumers. Facilitates demands and product awareness, offering wide employment opportunity in this particular area of marketing, providing or trying to do a healthy competition, and accelerating the value of the business, offering satisfaction according to the requirements and the need of the consumers, and trying to build up quality product, and in that creating a competitive advantage. Then we have seen the traditional and modern marketing approaches. So I'm not going to explain much more about these approaches because already we have seen this, and what is the key focus is also given in the particular slide. So when we come about the red colored in the PPT are in the modern approach, social orientation, relationship marketing, virtual and branding. And then we have seen the functions of marketing. So what are the major functions of marketing? So we classified into three. We have learned about exchange function, supply chain function, and utility functions in detail. What we have learned in exchange function, we were talking about buying and selling. We were talking about pricing and assembling. And in supply chain function, we were talking about movements of the product, that is through transportation and storing it and using it or selling to the market or bringing it to the market as and when required. Then we were talking about retailing, stock market, standardization, grading, segregating the product according to the quality standard. And utility function, we were talking about the supportive function, that is financing, customer service, providing marketing information, advertising, and sales promotion. So these were the three functions in which, or three major heads in which we learned about functions of marketing. And then we moved on to an important area, what we call it as market segmentation. Grouping the entire market and concentrating on the market. So segmentation is actually grouping of customers. There are different ways and on different basis we group the customers in the market. So that is what we learned through basis for market segmentation, and we learned about the four major types: demographic segmentation, psychographic segmentation, geographic segmentation, and benefit segmentation. So it talks about like this. Geographic means where we have to, which place. Demographic talks about what? The characteristics of the individual. Psychographic talks about people who, and behavioral talks about how they go about and how they buy the product. And then we quickly look down to the importance of market segmentation. I don't have to talk much about it. We have elaborately seen these topics in detail, satisfying a particular type of customer's need, and concentrating on a segment increases the profit, and we can use the resources very effectively targeting on them. We can retain the customers by concentrating on that type of customers because we know about them, their characteristics. And we become the master or the leader in that particular segment, and we can focus and develop our communication to cater to that particular group of people. And then we have seen targeting. We group the market into different segments, and then which segment is more profitable and which segment is comfortable for us to introduce the product. And that is our target group. That is what we call it as targeting. Targeting the group of people, which there are different segments which are there, but in all the segments we cannot sometimes move for it. So we only focus on the particular segment which is more profitable and which we think that the product is being needed by that particular group of people. And then we have seen product positioning. Product positioning talks about how we have positioned the product in the mind of consumers. We discussed about different examples of product positioning. I'm not going to tell in this particular platform because the previous lectures we were talking about these examples. So when a product name or a brand name comes to your mind, what exactly you think about that? And that is how I made you to understand about the product or service or a particular brand. So product positioning is trying to create an image in the mind of people. Okay, so these are the things which we have learned in unit number 1. I just wanted to give a summary about what we have learned in the previous lectures.